Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of CS Cyber. I'm Chad.
I'm Sean.
And today we're continuing our Cyber Ready Ohio series, and we're talking about the new rules that apply to ransomware.
Yeah, paying ransomware.
Yeah, which is never really a good thing, but you know this brings a whole nother dynamic to public subdivisions and what they need to do to if they're actually going to pay a ransom. So you can't pay a ransom without formal approval from the governing body. And I just wanted to actually read the language from House Bill 96 just
go ahead.
We have a starting point there. So a political subdivision experiencing a ransomware incident shall not pay or otherwise comply with the ransom demand unless the political subdivision's legislative authority formally approves the payment or compliance with the ransom demand in a resolution or in accordance with specifically stated why the payment or compliance with the ransom demand is in the best interest of the political subdivision.
Oh, that's like one paragraph.
It's a paragraph, but I think it's just one sentence. So what is that? You all right?
Yep, good.
All right. So what does that mean? So I think why they stuck this in the bill, right, is you can't just pay a ransom kind of under the covers or behind the curtain without anyone really knowing. So
yeah,
let's just kind of talk a little bit about why we think this rule exists, right? So I think transparency is one.
Well, you want to talk about why this would even happen in the first place?
Yeah.
So why would a local government pay a ransom? And the majority of the time, there's two reasons. One, you have bad backups. Maybe it was a catastrophic failure of backups and you have nothing. Or maybe it's a partial failure. So you were able to restore 12 of your 13 servers, but that 13th server, which is critical, the backups aren't good for. Second reason might be because the threat actor is threatening extortion. So maybe they've obtained some very sensitive information that you've been able to confirm that they have that you don't want released. Now, there's no honor among thieves. So typically I'll say once they have it, if they're promising not to let it go, you should take that under consideration, whether they're actually going to do that or not. It's of the opinion that once the cat's out of the bag, it's out of the bag.
Out of the bag, yeah.
Okay, now we can go into why the rule exists.
So transparency, right? I mean,
yeah.
You can't just have the IT guy saying I got to make this go away right now, and next thing you know, all your Bitcoins out the door.
These are public funds. This is taxpayer money that needs to be accounted for.
Preventing hasty decisions, right? So I think a lot of times that may seem like the easiest path to resolution, right? But
yeah,
a lot of times a hacker group, even let's say you pay them, right, and they give you the key, they're not helping you get back up, right? So I mean, there's going to be a long period of time that you're trying to figure that out.
Yeah, and I just want people to understand too, when these threat actors, if you pay the ransom and you get the key, this isn't like opening a door.
Right.
Like it doesn't your stuff just doesn't automatically reappear. There's a whole process to decrypt. And if you have like terabytes and terabytes of information that's encrypted, it could take weeks or months potentially to decrypt it, depending on the situation.
Right. I think deterrence. I think overall they want cities and townships and all these places to be better prepared, right? I mean, testing their backups, more prepared for that, right? So,
yeah, that showed up in the apparently the Ohio Auditor of State has already been through their financial audits, have already been asking, and we know this for a fact because we actually ran into this with a local government. They've been asking for them to test the backups and show them that they work. Yeah.
So I think this is kind of a little bit off topic, right? But the House bill says align with the framework. That doesn't provide a recipe of what they want you to do, right? But in those frameworks are all the things like asset inventory and testing your backups and password length and MFA and all the things that I think these organizations are looking for and guidance on. We just need to kind of dig into those a little bit.
That's correct.
So, and then oversight of risk, we kind of talked about that. It doesn't just give you the magical unlock button and then all your stuff pops back to life and you're good to go. So let's talk a little bit about how, just preparing for that day can go a long way, right? So we talk a lot about incident response plans and making sure that those are up to date and those are practiced.
Or they have one.
Right? And I think I come across this a lot, and I see this in like the IT perspective, like, oh, this is an IT function. But I think this is really raising the level of awareness where you need to get, the leaders involved in this plan and understanding like what's going to be the sequence of events when this happens.
Yeah, you brought up a really good point in there. Having somebody, so first of all, this is also off topic. The political subdivision has got to pass a resolution soon, indicating their commitment to adopting a cybersecurity program, and very specifically naming the person that's in charge. So this is just my opinion. I mean, I really think that this needs to sit outside of the IT folks. And I think your city, county, and township administrators need to accept this as they are responsible for this. They are ultimately responsible. They are the chief executive for the municipality, and I honestly don't think it should be sat clearly in the hands of the IT director, IT manager. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I come across that in my practice almost every day. I mean, it's all of this is like just a function of IT, and well, that's how they see it, right? So
yeah,
I think, and I talk to the IT directors I work with, and really encourage them to like start bringing these things up in like bigger meetings, right? And they don't know what HR's policies are. They don't know how other parts of the business work per se, or what their policies are, right? So they have to get involved and come to the table with these things. So.
Yeah, in the financial world, boards are actually required by law every year to get an update on cybersecurity. So I think we have to evolve into a situation where board of trustees, city council members, county boards need to get regular briefings on cyber and what's happening, because you can't just completely pass it all the way down and just say, well, we've got an IT department and they're responsible. The first problem is is those first two words, right? You have an IT department, but what is your cybersecurity stance? Because those are two completely different. Your IT budget and your cybersecurity budget, those are different things. So we've got to evolve into a new mindset.
Right.
Hopefully this helps.
Yeah. So let's just kind of hop into like just preparing for an incident, right? And we've covered these a lot on other shows and other podcasts. So update your IRP. Make sure you have one. Make sure make sure your IRP works for you, right? If it's just a lot of words on paper and you can't implement or act on that, it doesn't matter how well it's worded, right? So make sure that it works for you, that it meets compliance standards, and that you can actually execute your IRP.
Yep. And then, the communication protocols, we've seen this fail a lot. How will you quickly inform council, city administration, having everybody's cell phone numbers and contact information to make sure that they're up to speed with what's going on?
Yeah. Run tabletop exercises, right? These can be done formally. They can be done informally. I would recommend doing one at least formally every year with kind of a larger team and who's going to actually be involved. But we run tabletop exercises here every single week. Every single week we run a tabletop exercise. It's not a big formal production, but we talk through a scenario. It's about an hour long, and we have takeaways from that. So
yep. And then there's the legal and insurance piece, making sure there's been a lot of discussion in a lot of the House Bill 96 presentations. The state and the auditor's office are not answering direct questions by design. And a lot of what they say is, hey, check with your legal counsel, check with your legal representatives. And then, we need to have a whole summit just on cyber insurance, because it's a disaster. It's a mess. And a lot of these, we unfortunately or fortunately go through a lot of these incidents with these organizations, and we're encountering all the difficulties with cyber insurance. So that needs to be discussed. Maybe after we're finished with this, maybe we could have a cyber insurance series.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
And just kind of go into what we have found, what we've experienced, what goes right, what goes wrong. You need to have it. It's just you need to have it smartly, and that's the piece that we've seen not going right.
Right. So, and then alternative recovery options, right? Like test your backups, have a DR plan. Like if this isn't going right, what are you going to do to get back up, right? So build those backups up, build your DR plan up, and then actually test those.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I think that's all I really wanted to cover on this one. Did you have anything else you wanted to toss into this episode?
No, I don't. I just action steps, review that incident response plan, have it, talk about it, order some pizza, sit at a table and just talk about, hey, what happens if our entire organization gets hit with ransomware? What do we do? Yeah, that's probably the most important thing that you can do right now is just work on that IRP, check your backups, make sure you've got some offline copies. But ransomware payment is not always going to be the golden ticket. That's for sure.
Right. Well, I think that's all we got for today. So next week, I think this is going to be a good one for people, and they're really interested in incident reporting requirements as part of House Bill 96. So.
Yeah, we're going to talk about OKIC and what that is, and we're going to talk about the auditor estate notification. So all those timelines and everything you need to do and know, we'll talk about that next episode.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Yep. See you next time.